Oh, that's how that works. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Own the Chaos. I'm just trying new features as I go, baby. B-Rad is back. I hope you guys enjoyed the alter ego last week. I spent some time back up in Maryland. Went and hung out with Fat Man Zoom for a little while, so I do appreciate your guys' patience. And, obviously things are still just changing business-wise and all that. I do have some exciting things that are coming up down the pipeline that I hope that you guys are going to be really excited about. One of them being, by the way, we're making the move to Patreon. If you guys saw the link that I put in the chat, I'm moving everybody over to Patreon. All of my Chaos crew members are going to be going there. If you guys recall, been doing this a long time. We've kind of evolved into so many things. First, it was We Trade HQ. Then we built ownthechaos.com. And there's just people living everywhere. I'm trying to get everybody under one roof. So for those of you who are in the Chaos crew, that get my watch list, that get access to Discord, among all kinds of other things, private videos and all that stuff. If you're a part of the community, if you have a badge next to your name, all that's stopping from the platform that you're watching it from, and it's all going to be going through Patreon. One big reason is I need everybody under one roof. I'm a one-man band. I need everybody under one roof. So it just makes it easier on me, and it actually makes it easier on you as well. You can view content easier there. You can access Discord easier from there. It's just so many easy things that's just going to make my life easier. And shout out to Mike Hudson for setting that up. One of our Chaos crew members, community members, has been like a godsend, as well as Lord Fenrir. I don't know if he's watching as well, aka Matt. Those two guys have been absolute rock stars for me as we've been transitioning from a lot of stuff. So I certainly appreciate you guys with helping me with that. And again, if you guys are part of the Chaos crew, whether you're a Chaos crew member on YouTube or whether you're a Chaos crew member in through We Trade HQ, all that is stopping, and it's all going to be under one roof. And I hope you get there, because by October 1st, you're going to start losing access to all that other stuff, whether it's through YouTube or otherwise. It's all, if you're not on Patreon, you need to get there. The link is in the chat as well. So we got a couple of topics to talk about today. You saw the title about the Nord Stream pipeline, and I firmly believe that's what we saw, why we saw the market sink in the middle of the day today. It was very interesting. Doesn't seem like it was all that coincidental to see the markets kind of trading down once we got some of that news from the Nord Stream pipeline. We're going to be talking about that, as well as what the fuck is going on with the Fed right now. That is going to be I got some interesting content. I'm going to share some content from Jeremy Siegel, which I've never seen this guy go nuts like this. So I'm super pumped to kind of get your guys' reaction on that, as well as share my own. So we're going to be talking about all of that. We do have, I don't know, there are some earnings, and we'll bring those up if you guys would really like me to, but those are earnings that I've never even heard of, and they're really hard to find. I've been trying to get them up, but it was really difficult. Later on in the week, we do have some good ones, though. Bed Bath & Beyond, Nike, a few other good companies, well-known brands that we're going to be covering as far as earnings are concerned. If there are earnings that are coming out that you guys really want me to take a look at that maybe I somehow missed, I certainly would be happy to share that with you guys, and we can go from there. Okay, that's the story on earnings. But those two topics in particular, we're going to be talking about Nord Stream as well as the Fed. But before we get into anything, let me shout out my starting five. What's up, Jeff Punica, coming in first? Appreciate you, my man. Feed the Bull, Don Fran Show showing up as well in the top five. We got Jeff Chow and Savvy Money Show. You guys are part of the starting five. If you missed the starting five, it could be because you're not subscribed or hit that notification bell. Every day, Monday through Thursday, I go live at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time to cover everything that's going on in the market. And so I certainly would appreciate it if you did that and you come in here early, and I might just give you a shout out for our starting five. So check that out. Hit the thumbs up button on your way in, by the way. Would love for you guys to do that too, to help show us some support. And let's see. Just as an aside, if you guys decide that you want to remain Chaos crew members on YouTube, of course, you're more than welcome to. I actually have considered as well giving access to parts of the show to only Chaos crew members, and that I would only activate the Chaos crew member chat. So if you guys want to do that, we can certainly do that. that's something that we can revisit later on down the road. Or if you're just like, you know what, I want to keep my badge. I've had it for 2 years. I see a lot of you guys that are long-standing Chaos Crew members, and I certainly appreciate it. Appreciate that. Here's my other thing with this too. Some of you guys have been asking why I'm doing this. So YouTube takes 30% of all my Chaos Crew member money. 30%. Crazy, right? YouTube's raping me right now. And they have been for a while. And I was like, oh, you know what? It's nice because it's just easy for people to come in, hit the join button, and then they're good to go. But it's just not worth the 30%. Much less of that I have to deal with on Patreon, and I get a lot more for it. So take that for what you will. Like I said, guys, if you want to go hang out with me on Patreon, I certainly would appreciate it. Chaos Crew isn't going away. We're just moving to a new platform. Okay. All right. So Feed the Bull says no. Oh, oh yeah. Appreciate you shouting out DCTV too. If you guys aren't aware, I do go live 9 a.m. as well over on DCTV. If you're interested in cryptocurrencies, talking about Bitcoin, that sort of thing, go check us out at DCTV. I'm also live at 9 a.m. on that show as well. Checking in some other of you guys chiming in here. Kevin Hawthorne says, good afternoon from Lakeland, Florida. Savvy Money Show. Look, if you keep shutting down and restarting a pipeline of that size without proper maintenance, it's bound to go kerblow. Fair. Also seems like quite the coincidence, though. No, I think so. Housekeeping says I'm broke as fuck, but still hype. I love it. I love it. Yes, Don Fran of the Don Fran Show. We Trade is still up for you. Correct. We've talked about this. I'm not going to bring it up here on stream because we've talked about that offline. Okay. What up, Ann? What up, Tamp? Tamp's in the house as well. I've tried Twitch. Yeah, I've tried it all, man. I've tried it all. I hear Twitch is going through it right now as well. I don't know if anybody has checked out Twitch lately, but it is not pretty over there. It is not pretty over there at all. Okay, so let's check it. Let's go into it. So the Nord Stream pipeline, if you guys aren't aware, is the pipeline that supplies much of Europe with natural gas. A large part of natural gas that Germany survives on, about 90% of the natural gas that comes into Germany is from that Nord Stream pipeline that is controlled by none other than Russia. Today, news came out that there is leaks in the Nord Stream pipeline, and I actually have a video that I'm willing to share with you guys to get your reaction first, and we can talk about it on the other side. Let me share that with y'all real quick. Okay. There it is. There we go.
About the Nord Stream 1 and Nord Stream 2 damage.
Yeah, so we know that things happened almost simultaneously. So we saw pressure dropping in both Nord Stream and Nord Stream 2 pipelines. And Nord Stream operators said that actually there is no clue. They cannot say, it's impossible to say when flows can resume through the pipeline. We see there are some gas leaks. They were detected in the Danish and Swedish exclusive economic zones. Germany said it's investigating. Denmark said it is stepping up security at its energy facilities. We don't know the reasons. We don't know what is the actual impact of those leaks. So there is still a lot being investigated.
Yeah, a lot to discover, a lot to understand about what has caused this then, Vanessa. What does this mean for energy markets? I just highlighted a jump in the benchmark energy price in Europe today. But is that because it's telling us something about the future and the chances of seeing supply restored? Because both of these pipelines are idled at the moment.
Exactly. So let's remember, both pipelines are idle. Nord Stream was halted. The flows through Nord Stream were halted earlier this month. And also Nord Stream 2 has never sent any gas to Europe after Russia started its war in Ukraine. And so actually there is no impact in gas supplies to Europe. There is no impact. But look, the markets, traders are already tense. The situation is tense. Markets are really tight. And that just adds to this situation, to this bullish moment. And now that we know that it's impossible to say when Nord Stream flows will resume, that is something that adds to this nervous.
All right, so
Sabotage is
we saw this coming, right? I mean, we've talked about it numerous times ever since Russia decided to go to war with Ukraine. The Nord Stream pipeline has been an issue that we've talked about for quite some time. And as energy came down, I had mentioned that this could be an opportunity because of the potential headwinds coming for energy for a multitude of reasons, right? Supply had been one of those big problems. Sanctions being imposed on Russia was another. Russia having all of the control on the Nord Stream pipeline and where it feeds into, mainly, Germany and the surrounding countries, heavily impacting this, right? And the crazy part is, you look at the footage from this, and it is pretty wild. Let me show you a picture of what people are seeing. The it's crazy. The actual picture here. Look at this. That's natural gas just flowing into the ocean. So pretty tough stuff there as far as that's concerned. I don't even know what to say. I don't want to say I told you so, but we saw this coming. Germany right now is suspecting that this was sabotage, obviously from Russia. No actual reports as to whether or not that is true, which is why I put in the poll today whether or not you thought this could have been Russia or not. Nord Stream, as I'd mentioned, is a massive pipeline connecting the natural gas output of Russia to Germany, but a recent episode of leaks have the government of Germany concerned over the pipeline might have been sabotage. Would anybody be surprised if it was sabotage? That was from Gizmodo, by the way. I don't think so, and I'm not surprised for one. Don said, "I'll say it. I told you so." Oliver Thorpe said, we'll talk about that in just a minute. Oliver Thorpe on the exchange rate. Housekeeping says the world should really dogpile Russia and vote them off the island, split up the country. Light that shit on fire, says Bodie Beard. Oh, God. Oh, my goodness. Karem is being pretty optimistic here. We'll talk about that as well. It says the face-ripping rally is coming. We'll get into that in just a minute. But just to kind of close this out. So I have kind of been keeping my eye on a couple of things. I've talked to you guys about Pioneer Natural Resources in particular. And I wanted to kind of show you the chart right now where it was at. It had come down and had corrected a decent amount. And I think that there's certainly some opportunity here for Pioneer Natural Resources. And really, you could take advantage of any of the energy companies, Exxon, Chevron, the big names that you guys know, certainly make a lot of sense. But there is some alternatives that might make you a little more money. And I think PXD is certainly one of those. I can share, let me just share my screen with you on PXD so you guys can take a look here. I'm actually borrowing Jaime's chart, so shout out to Jaime. This is PXD right now. One of the highest dividend yields you'll get in the S&P 500 right now. Actually doesn't look that much different than what we've seen from the S&P as of the last couple of weeks. But that being said, I think that we could see a potential move down to about the $200 mark, around $200 a share for PXD. But with this going on with the Nord Stream pipeline, with all the sanctions that are going to be imposed on Russia come December, that there's no signs that they're going to not do that at this point. I think that there is a lot of good reason to get yourself into some energy stocks, and Pioneer Natural Resources, in my opinion, has it. Their break even is at $30 a barrel of WTI crude, so they're making money hand over fist, even with oil prices being where they are. after they've come down from about $130 a barrel. So I think that this is actually a pretty decent setup if it comes down and tests and holds that $200 mark and starts to make a move back up, which I think the chart, for example, is something to certainly look at. But I think also fundamentally, it's just kind of like there's writing on the wall here that we are seeing a potential move to the upside for energy as a whole. I think that this is something that is certainly worth taking a look at how this impacts you as an investor. I think we get some good comments in here. Martinushka, did I pronounce that right? Martinushka. If I pronounce that right, I feel like I deserve a round of applause because I'm terrible at pronouncing names. Looks like a cowardly target attack by the USA. They probably want the situation to escalate totally. Biden. I don't know about this, man. Martinushka sounds like a Russian, though. So maybe that's why. I'm just fucking with you. It's just a joke. JD says, world is on the brink of World War III, and it isn't stuff that funny how you're also funny. Man, people are just like not having a sense of humor today at all. Nevertheless, listen, at the end of the day, we're not making jokes. We still got to make money. We still got to figure out where we're going to make money and how we're going to eat and how we're going to keep our lights on, right? So fuck the government. Let them do whatever they're going to do. There's nothing we can do. We can shout as much as we want at either side of our governments, wherever we're living at, right? But there's still nothing we can do about it. What we can do is invest in the things that are actually going to more than likely move and park our money in areas that make a lot of sense. PXD, Pioneer Natural Resources, is one of them. The other idea is the stocks that actually have pricing power. Grocery stores, for example, Kroger, Costco has actually pretty decent outlook here as well. Conagra. There's a lot of really good companies out there that have pricing power that are worth taking a look at. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, there's absolutely nothing you can do about whatever's going to be happening in the world today, tomorrow, the next day, or the next week or month. Okay. But what you can do is control your own finances and control the way that you invest your money. And that's what we're here for. That's what we're here to own, the goddamn chaos. Things are chaotic as shit right now. You got to be watching this channel. See, this is what I'm talking about. Nerby's Reef says them bubbles are in the ocean are Godzilla. That's fucking hilarious. Under 100% feed the bull. We can invest and laugh. I mean, what else are you going to do? What else are you going to do? Cry about it? Hell no. We're not going to cry about it. We're going to do something about it. Tamp says, if you think World War III is on the brink, load up on some Bitcoin on a ledger so you can get the fuck out quick, fast, and in a hurry. 100%. Oh my God. I wish I was in that house. Feed the Bull says my wife is Chinese. I'll let her have it every day. That is hilarious. That is funny. Shock City Rocker. What's up, my man? Nord Stream puts paid off big. I bet they did. You could always join a military, move up in the ranks or politics. No, that doesn't work either. I mean, if you want to suck dick for however many decades so you can get some control of something, sure. But do you think that the leader of the free world actually has any freedom? No, he's also sucking dick, right? Like he's not. Somebody's pulling his strings as well. Like that's just how it works. That's the unfortunate part about it. Every ledger I bought has battery issues. Oh, okay. This is a good comment for Tamp. Tamp, if you could give Seaman 89 some advice on a ledger, that would be great. That is not my area of expertise. I'm sure she can help you out with that though. Oliver Thorpe, I wanted to touch on this. Spare a thought for us UK folks and a piss poor pound this week. Yeah, the pound has gotten pounded this week. Starting on Monday. $1 to dollar cost average, but exchange rate is killing us folks right now. Savvy Money Show also. We have a lot of people. I have a lot of people across the pond which, by the way, we haven't done a roll call in a minute. So let's do that right now. Give me a roll call. Where are you watching from? I haven't seen this in a while. I haven't asked you guys this in a while. Let's do roll call. Okay. Where are you guys watching from? Would love to hear that. But we have a lot of people from across the pond, and I'm certainly feeling for you guys as the dollar continues to just skyrocket. It is absolutely crazy. But Savvy Money Show says everyone holding up GDP saw through the chancellor's plans as never going to grow through so dumped the currency. Yeah, absolutely. It's pretty tough. But I love our community. As Savvy Money Show says, DM me and I'll explain how to do it. But as I said in a previous OTC video, so he'll help you out. Here we go. Now we got some people. Savvy Money Show, as I just mentioned, London, Bodie Bairds in Arizona, Jeff Podnicka is in Chicago, Warrington, PA. Oh, it's not too far from where I used to live in Maryland, England. Oh, we got another. I didn't actually know this. Nerby's Reef says I'm in England as well. Yeah, see, I have a lot of people from across the pond. I don't know how I attract you people, but I do appreciate it, mate. What's up, Austin, Texas, Montegoya, Mexico City this week? Okay, well, hey, you're watching from Mexico City. Now I'm gonna have to ask you where you're watching next week. Furlong, PA is Panama City Beach, Florida. Oh, that's nice. Alan Roth is at my mom's house, apparently. Tell her I said hello. Ventura County, California. I do have a lot of Californians as well. Yeah, look at this. 3 in a row. LA. We got San Diego. I know Jeff Chow's watching. He's also in LA. Good shit. Mike Hudson is from Chi-Town as well. I had to turn the furnace on. Not anywhere near that, my friend down here in Charlotte. I am loving it. Yes. Oh God, that's hilarious. Kurt for sure. Look at this. Oliver Thorpe. Yes. Another Brit. I'm telling you, I haven't looked at my demographics in a while, or my analytics. I have to, I must, you speak English, me understand. Holy shit. That's so funny. Okay. Let's get on to the next topic. You guys, I love every single one of you. This community is we're not big, but you motherfuckers are loyal. And I certainly appreciate that. I feel like at some point, you know, if I do end up blowing up one day, I'm going to miss these days, right? I'm not going to forget any one of you motherfuckers, by the way. Every single one of you. I love all of you, but we always want to grow, right? I would love it if I blew up one day, but like this type of stuff, you don't get that when you have 1 million subscribers, right? You don't have your go-to people. It's like, I feel like I know almost all of you that chime in every day, which is awesome. I know. I'm having a sentimental moment. Every once in a while, you just got to have those kind of ground yourself and remember, hey, you're impacting people's lives every day, Brad. And it's awesome. I love it. All right. So let's go on to the next topic here. Nord Stream pipeline. We talked about that. Before we get into the next topic, which is going to be on the Fed and Jeremy Siegel's blow up, which was hilarious. Okay. Hilarious. But I have some news as well. I have some other news. And got the beautiful hair part. And chiming in on my hair. Don said I'm not going to forget these F-bombs. Sorry. This is the most loyal motherfucker right here. This guy right here. Boom. One of the most. So I do have some news. I keep trying to get out. I keep getting distracted. I'm starting a new channel, and Ann, aka Tamp, is going to be a huge part of that. Partner, if you will. You guys saw Ann Tamparello last week, a week before. She was on this channel talking about cannabis because she owns a cannabis shop. No, the channel's not on cannabis, and in fact, it's going to be about sports, namely football. We're going to work on a football channel, a sports channel, but we're going to talk about football. I'm super excited about it. I can't wait to get this kicked off. I'm not ready to share the link with you yet because there is zero content on there. So once we get some content on there, we're going to start recording this week. but I am super excited about this. You guys know we've talked about sports on Own the Chaos all the time, and then some Yahoo gets pissed off because we're not talking about stocks long enough. So I decided that let's just create a sports channel. Tamp, why she's going to be on there? Because she is an absolute beast and loves college sports, loves college football. She was a sports athletic trainer for various universities, including Duke, Baylor, you name it. She is in the game. So I can't wait. I think this dynamic is going to be awesome. So once I have everything up and running, I will be sharing that. But I wanted to kind of just leak that out, set some expectations. It's a brand new channel, got a brand new guest, and we're gonna be drinking beer out of some very interesting looking beer bongs. Don asks if he can co-host. Don, if you can tell me the difference between pass interference and defensive holding, then you can come on the show. How about that? But Don can't tell me that. I'm just messing with you, Don. I'm sure there's a way we can work you in. But anyway, all right. So let's get into it. So Jeremy Siegel on CNBC last week just went off the chain. I've never seen this guy go crazy like this before, but it was absolutely crazy. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but I wanted to just show you guys this and kind of like the severity of all. If you guys don't know, Jeremy Siegel is professor at Wharton University. He has been in the stock market, been in the world of finance for 50 fucking years. And for him to go crazy like this should send signals to pretty much everybody else. I thought that this was actually pretty shocking. This is kind of like, if you guys remember, I'll talk about this on the other side. Let's go and watch this video real quick.
School. He joins us right.
Certainly. You know, Scott, I find it very amusing. A year ago at that September meeting, when we had booming commodity prices, when housing prices rising at the fastest rate in post-war history, when we had all commodities going up at rapid rates, Fed Chairman Powell and the Fed said, we don't see any inflation. We see no need to raise interest rates in 2022. Now, when all those very same commodities and asset prices are going down, he sees, stubborn inflation that requires the Fed to stay tight all the way through 2023. Makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. Way too tight. We do not have to get anywhere near that level to stop inflation, because all the inflation is basically stopped. It's basically stopped. I mean, you had a headline just came across 3 minutes ago, oil back to January levels. That's before Russia invaded Ukraine. You can see what's happening to commodities. We're going to get the Case-Shiller index next week. It's going to show no increase or a decrease for the first time in years. And that's a lagged indicator. On the ground, commodity, all the prices are going down. The only thing that's not going down is wages. And by the way, wages are in catch-up mode. Don't argue they're pushing inflation. They're lagging inflation. I mean, the workers are trying to get what a little bit back of what the inflation happens to be. I think the Fed is just way too tight. They're making exactly the same mistake on the other side that they made a year ago.
There are those who agree with you, who think that the Fed is oversteering.
Yeah,
but saying it doesn't do anything for the scenario that we're currently in. If they continue to do it, whether you think it's right or wrong, if they continue to do it, what does it mean for stocks?
Well, until he sees the light and says, you know what, I don't think we have to be so tight. Until that happens, you can still have pressure on stocks. I mean, and that's gonna, that's probably one of the factors that can see the light. I mean, when he sees how high real rates have gone, the dollar the highest in 20 or 30 years. By the way, next Tuesday we're going to get the monthly stock market money supply data, which is going to show the greatest decline in 5 months that we've had in the post-war period. I mean, if he looks at any of the monetary or financial indicators, He can't say, oh, we have to keep them on. I mean, at his press conference, he said, we have to get real rates in the positive territory. They're in positive territory for every maturity. For the first time in years, we're already there. I mean, I thought that was the most uninformative. I mean, and no one was asking him a hard question. How do we have 3.2 million new workers and GDP going down? What does that mean? What does the record decline in the money supply mean? I mean, what does the collapse in commodity prices mean? What is the lag construction of these housing indicators that are 40% of the core inflation, which are going to filter through inflation for the next 12 to 15 months? Is that what he's looking at? Why is he looking at that? That's not an accurate view of what.
All right, so you get the point. So Jeremy Siegel just went off on the Fed, basically talking about how, they didn't get their shit together, and then we're too late to raising rates, and then now are raising rates too far, and we're seeing now mortgage rates have gone up to 7% for a 30-year mortgage. It's just impacting things across the economy, and we are now in danger of a serious recession. So much for a soft landing. And this is actually the most animated that I've ever seen Jeremy Siegel in my lifetime and the 10 years that I've been involved in finance. And so that was actually pretty alarming. And we're seeing numbers that I haven't seen in the 10 years that I've been involved in finance, that I've been working in finance. I'm actually very worried about seeing that guy freak out. By the way, does he ever open his eyes? Does Jeremy Siegel ever, anybody know what color his eyeballs are? I have no idea. I see the side conversations and I'm choosing to ignore them, by the way. Fuckers. But yes, I have no idea what color his eyes are. Don said, I don't know if it's on stop. What, Don, you just need to come on. I need you to stop being in the chat, and I need you to just come on to these things. Free up your schedule, man. I said, I don't know if it's stoppable at this point. Like, how are we not going to take a huge hit in the market? I don't think that we're not going to not see this at this point. And let's take a look at the SPY now, because now I think that we are actually in a situation where we could see the S&P hit. We'll take a look at the SPX. Yeah, here we go. So this is not great, obviously. Here's your daily chart on the S&P 500. As soon as I get my shit together, here we go. There's the S&P 500. We are now below this area, or we're just touching this area at 3647 on the S&P. And you tell me, Don, this doesn't look very bullish at all to me. I think that at this point, S&P has the ability to go all the way down to 3594, 3600. We'll just call it 3600. And I know that Lord Fenrir is also watching, and I'll give him his flowers when they are due. He's been talking about 3600 S&P 500 since January. Another Chaos crew member who's been here for a long time, been trading for a long time. So, I gave him plenty of pushback on that at the beginning of the year. And there's nothing here that's telling me that this isn't a real possibility. So pretty tough to see that. It is what it is. What do we do now? What do we do? Right? How do we move from this? I think Don's saying now at this point, I think we'll stay in the 3,000 areas, in the 3,000s, but maybe 30-20. Let's just make it easier on ourselves, and we'll pull up the SPY just so we can kind of get a better grasp on this. So 360 more than likely where we're going to actually test. 320 is where Don is potentially looking at. I think that's probably let's see here. 320 is all the way down here. Yeah. So we have 320 here. Is this I haven't used TradingView in so long. Here we go. Here's 320 right here. That's 320. That's how much further down the SPY has to come down, or that Don thinks that SPY is going to come down, the S&P. That's still a pretty far drop. Now, a couple things that I think are on the up and up, right? October could be a very ugly month. We talked about this in DC TV a little bit this morning about, being an election year. And I think that it's pretty crazy to think that, and maybe they don't have an answer, but the Democrats, if they want blue seats in the House and in the Senate, they're going to have to do something about that chart right there and the economy. Because if they don't, it's going to be a big ass red wave. I hate to break it to you Democrats out there, but I just don't see how, logically, right? Logically thinking, it's twice as much to pay for a mortgage right now. Mortgages are up twice as much as what they were a year ago. Gas is higher. The only thing that's better is your wages, but what's the point in having wages higher if everything else is higher, right? Doesn't matter. We're seeing jobless claims now starting to go up. We're starting to see a lot of things signaling a potential recession, folks. And I just don't see how the Democrats are going to be able to weasel their way out of this one. And I say that with the utmost respect, because I would be saying weasel their way out of it with the Republican side of things as well. Because they both do it come election year. I think that October ends up being a very messy month. I think this is going to get worse. And then I think that we see maybe a little bit of a bounce after November, after the elections take place in November. And again, this is me full speculate. I'm speculating. Looks as if on the charts that this timing could line up in that regard. Yeah. Don said there's actually something with midterms being bullish after. I would disregard that yet. 2023, though, we may tuck knee and yell cannonball. Yeah, could very well be that. But here's one thing I'll also take note of. I know we don't talk about cryptocurrency too much on this channel, but I think that it's worth mentioning. And I put a tweet out on this. Go follow me at Own the Chaos. But this is a daily chart of Bitcoin on the Fibonacci line here on the daily chart. And I think that that's also worth noting that even though Bitcoin's down, it's actually been outperforming the S&P over the last week. I don't know if there's anything to that or not. We can speculate as to why that's happening, and where it could be headed now. I think the Bitcoin could certainly come down lower as well. Actually, this isn't Bitcoin. Here we go. There we go. Right? Yes, this is Bitcoin. 19,022. It was actually above 20,000 as of this morning and has now come down pretty considerably. So I think that there is still more room to go for Bitcoin. And we've talked about this a little bit, but I think it's worth noting that it's been outperforming the S&P. This is your monthly chart as well, sitting right there on Bitcoin. I think that there is something to be said for Bitcoin outperforming the S&P. And I think that people, this is again me speculating, very fair point, and I don't disagree with this. Lord Fenrir, just a side note, says wages are down compared to inflation. Don't let that BS fool you, which is what Jeremy Siegel was saying, right? Wages are just now starting to catch up to inflation. Not that they actually have, but now starting to catch up to inflation. And that's the argument he was making to why the Fed is seriously fucking up. But anyways, getting back to Bitcoin, I think that there's certainly something to be said here that people are trying to figure out where to park their money. And as the dollar continues to go up, the strength of the dollar continues to go up. I think that there's a case to be made for Bitcoin. I think that there is. And Feed the Bull says the next couple of years is a buy zone in my eyes. I feel so greedy right now for stocks and Bitcoin. Tamp says is up 10%. BTC GPP up 17%. Inflation states hits hardest moving to Bitcoin. Yeah, absolutely. So, I think that there's something to be said for that. So what do? I think that I think there's a couple of things. Cash isn't the answer. Numero uno. You can have some cash on the sidelines. These are all my opinions, right? These are all my opinions. You can have some cash on the sidelines. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But going in all cash is a big mistake. We have inflation that's up 8% year over year, still a year later. So that's not going to come down. It doesn't appear that it's going to come down anytime soon. So it doesn't make sense to park your money there and just park your money in cash. So where do you put it? I think that Bitcoin is certainly a viable option. I don't know if I would go after precious metals such as gold or silver. Some people might tell you to do that. That just wouldn't be my thing. You look back in the history of gold over the last 10, 12, 15 years, you bought it back then, you're still underwater. You take inflation and all that into account, you still have lost money holding on to gold or silver. I think, again, as I mentioned at the top of the show, getting into stocks, if you're not into the Bitcoin game, getting into stocks that have pricing power, energy. You look back into the 70s, 80s, when we saw that quote unquote lost decade where the S&P was made up, 70% of the S&P was made up of energy stocks and industrials. I think that we could see glimpses of that heading into the end of the year and into 2023, where energy is going to continue to skyrocket. I think we're going to continue to see that. So that's why I mentioned PXD, but there's nothing wrong with getting into something like an Exxon Mobil or like a Chevron, what have you. Here's the kicker. And I'm really going to throw you guys for a loop. Okay. Big tech is also going to be on the cheap, and it already is on the cheap, in my opinion. I think it is. It's possible that it comes down lower, right? And I'm talking about your Apples, Amazons, even Meta platforms, extremely cheap right now, both fundamentally and both looking at the chart. This is your daily chart on Apple right now, and it looks pretty darn good. I think that it holding these levels around 150, there's potential for this to come down to around 138. We've seen that test that support before. Something like Apple certainly makes sense. Apple's not going away. Are you kidding me? It's just not. Fair point. Lord Fenrir says silver over gold if you're going to go the precious metal route. But I think that there is something to be said for getting in some of the big tech stocks that aren't going away anytime soon. Amazon, Apple, the FANGs, essentially. I think there's going to come a time where they're going to get really cheap, and I think it's going to be soon. Watch these stocks as we head into the election, into election year, or into November. Watch them make the move. Bodie Beard says F Meta. Tell me how you really feel. Google and Apple are the ones right now probably wait a bit for more drop, like then pounce, in my opinion. Yeah. Listen, I understand how certain people feel about Meta platforms, but the fact of the matter is that they're bringing in, and I'll say this again, as I've said many times, $40 billion of free cash flow. There's fundamentals there that haven't been respected in the stock itself, and it will at some point. It will. You don't want to invest in it for personal reasons. That's on you, but it's cheap. It's at 13 times next year's earnings. That's far below the S&P 500, which is already down 24% this year. Isn't that crazy? 24%. If the red wave happens, Meta will be broken up. Fat chance of that happening, bro. Fat chance of that happening. But I guess you can still dream. All right, shit or legit time. Put it in the chat if you guys would like me to cover stocks that you feel I would like to see me react to that are shit or legit. Put SOL just as housekeeping did, or you can put shit or legit. That's fine. I'll respect that. And the ticker symbol, and I will react to those. React to those stocks. Would love you guys' participation, your engagement in this. Last time around it was a bit weak. But we'll see if we can get you guys back into shit or legit mode. The Mexico ETF. Is this really what you want me to look at? EWW? Interesting. I will say the chart looks pretty good on EWW. What is this? It's I guess the ETF for the Mexican dollar, Mexican peso. I don't know, man. I don't think I would be about this. Because I don't understand it, I'm going to say it's shit, but it doesn't mean that I can't continue to go. I will say the chart actually looks pretty darn good. I don't hate it. I just don't understand it. So I'm going to be out with that one, especially with Forex being so risky right now. Snickeroo, ANV just won't quit. Oh, that's not. All right. Shit or legit on SQM. See, this is somebody I can get along with. For the record, I am a registered Republican, but I would say that I'm more right of center than anything. I feel like AK0929 is more like left of center. Like we're just slightly on the other side. You know what I'm saying? So like there's probably a lot that we can meet in the middle here. It says I'm a liberal and wish the Democrats would do more. They're too busy sucking up to their donors. That's every politician, so we can all get down with that. I appreciate that comment. And also holding your own party responsible. Thank you for that. SQM. Feed the Bull wants me to check out SQM. I can pull that up real quick. Here is the chart on SQM. It looks very nice. Loving that. Chart looks pretty damn good. Let's take a look at what SQM is and what SQM does and whether or not this is shit or legit. Very interesting company here. Produces and distributes specialty plant nutrients, iodine and its derivatives, lithium and its derivatives, potassium chloride, and sulfate. So it's like a mineral company. Let's take a look at some of the other things. It's been up 75% over the last 52 weeks, 85% year to date. It's still considered a strong buy by seeking alpha authors and Wall Street analysts. Earnings are pretty damn good as well. $2.72 billion are expected in this upcoming quarter. $2.6 billion were from last quarter on revenue. Bro, this is legit. Ain't nothing about this stock that's shit. It is certainly made some pretty strong moves, but given this is a stock that I've been talking about, right? That has pricing power. This stock has pricing power. Perfect example of what I've been talking about on stocks. And this is, and in my opinion, a perfect one. This stock is legit. Love this one. Thank you for bringing that one to the table. Shit or legit on EPAM Systems. EPAM Systems. Let's take a look. That is ticker symbol EPAM. The chart looks a little bit iffy. It is down 44% since the beginning of the year. Forward PE is at 35 times next year's earnings. What do? They provide digital platform engineering and software development services worldwide. The company offers engineering services, including requirements and analysis and platform selection, customization, cross-platform migration, implementation, yada, yada, yada. Software company in its most basic form. EPAM Systems earnings here are pretty good. They make money, which is great. They missed on EPS gap earnings last time around by quite a bit, but they did beat on revenue. $1.2 billion is expected this time around. As a software company here that is making money, I'm going to have to go on the record saying that this is legit. I don't like the chart here. I think that there's probably more pain ahead for this one in the short term. Watch for this to come down to maybe around 333. But yeah, I think this is a legit one. I think this is a legit one to mess with. I don't hate it, Jay. I don't hate it at all. Thanks for sharing that one. Digital Turbine, Oliver Thorpe. Let's see here on Digital Turbine. Is this ticker symbol? Oh, there it is. APPS. Not familiar with this company, but we can take a look at the chart. The chart looks fugly. Not looking great. It's testing another bottom here, which looks like the similar bottom that it had back in June, along with the rest of the market. So this is actually really risky. Over the last 52 weeks, it's down 80%. Year to date, it's down 76%. This is a company that, through its subsidiaries, operates a mobile growth platform for advertisers, publishers, carriers, and device original equipment. The company operates through 3 segments: on-device media, in-app media. So it's a digital media company, which is hilarious because that's what I'm trying to build currently. But right now, I have to say it's shit. In a recession, as we head towards a potential recession, less and less companies are willing to spend money on advertising, and that puts all media companies, including digital media, in a bind. It is not great that they are still trading at 10 times. Well, I would say it's okay. They're trading at 10 times next year's earnings, which makes that part of it attractive, but they are a very tiny company as well. $176 million is only what's expected for this coming quarter. I don't know. I don't know, Oliver. I would say that this is really risky, and I'd hate to tell you, but I think it's shit. Shit or legit on Twitter, it's shit. For the same reasons that I don't like Digital Turbine right now. Government Motors. Don's asking about GM. Let's take a look at GM real quick. I think it is probably shit for the next couple of weeks, at least. I would say watch for GM to come down to $30 per share before I would even consider taking a look at it. Until then, it is shit. Tech is cheap, but not as cheap as it'll be in 6 months. Fair assessment. I'm not going to disagree with that, but it is cheap. I'm loving this. All right, we're going to get to just a few more. Riot and Hood. Let's just do one. Let's take a look at Riot right now. So if you guys aren't familiar with Riot, they are solely involved in mining Bitcoin. That is their business. They continue to build a Bitcoin mining facility, which is absolutely monstrous. Stocks obviously following the similar path that Bitcoin is. That is that, the stock's going to go as Bitcoin goes. For now, I think that it's shit. Doesn't mean that it can't go up higher, but I think if we believe, and I do, that Bitcoin is going to go lower, then I think that right now that Riot is shit until we start to see Bitcoin make some sort of turn. If so, for some reason we see Bitcoin actually bottom out where it's at and around the $19,000-$20,000 area, then maybe we can take a look at Riot. But right now, it ain't great. It ain't pretty. I think that you have some time on Riot. Again, just my opinion. The company still doesn't actually make money. They're very borderline. Last time around, they came in at a loss on operations of 65 cents. The expectation is for them to come in profitable this quarter. Don't see that happening. So for those reasons, I think that Riot for right now, as I mentioned, is shit. Lots of shit out there. Okay. Talking about tech, shit or legit on rum. I don't know if I've ever looked at rum. Oh, it's Rumble. Yeah. Rumble's an interesting one. This is the daily chart on Rumble. It's been all over the place. Let's look at it. Believe it or not, it's actually green on the year. Year to date, it's up 3.64%, which ain't nothing to write home about. However, what I will say about that is the S&P is down 24%. So it is outperforming the S&P hand over fist. If you guys aren't familiar with Rumble, it operates video sharing platforms similar to the YouTube that you're watching right now. The company operates on rumble.com, a platform that enables video creators to host, live stream, manage, distribute, and create OTT feeds, as well as monetize their content. Sounds a lot like YouTube, only it is less politically motivated, as some would argue. Earnings here, though, are still operating for a loss. So I would say that that's certainly a risk, considering the environment that we're in with rising interest rates and that sort of thing. They're going to have to borrow more money to continue to grow their efforts, especially considering that this coming quarter they're only expected to bring in $6 million in revenue. Last quarter they only brought $4 million. And missed earnings expectations horribly. So for those reasons, Lord Fenrir, I would say that at least for now, Rumble is shit. And that's going to do it for me today, guys. Thanks so much for tuning in. I certainly appreciate it. It's good to be back. I'll be back tomorrow at 3:45 p.m. Eastern time, and we're going to be going over some earnings. Let me check. I believe I'm going to be going over some earnings. Let me. I want to double check that. Okay. There we go. Yeah, earnings tomorrow are, let's see. We got Paychecks, Cintas, Thor. I thought that was today. Maybe it's not. And okay, let's see here. Yeah, those are all going to be pre-market. So tomorrow we don't have much for earnings. I will say though, Thursday is going to be a big day. We got Bed Bath & Beyond, we got Nike, Micron, CarMax, Rite Aid. So that's going to be a fun day for earnings. So tomorrow we'll figure out what we're going to chat about. Probably going to be another slow day, but let's see. We'll see where it goes. We're just going to have a good time. Thanks so much, guys. Appreciate all of you. And make sure you go to patreon.com. As a reminder, anybody who's in the Chaos Crew, you want to have access to the Chaos Crew after probably the next 2 weeks, because we're moving everything to Patreon. And the only way to get you guys motivated to do that is just to take it from you and tell you to go here. Okay? So go to Patreon if you're a Chaos Crew member, and we will see you guys there. Thanks so much. See you tomorrow. Bye.